Hey guys, welcome back to Blackroom Gaming. As always, I am your host Creepy Soul, and today we have some JRPG news for you guys. Okay, let's get stuck in. It's a pretty big one today. First up, we've got some news from Disgaea 5, and they have confirmed a NA European release for fall 2015, and it also confirmed the name. So we've got the name is going to be Disgaea 5 Alliance of Vengeance. If you're a fan of the Disgaea series, I've played up to 4, and it'll be good to see how the transition goes over to PS4 from PlayStation 3. Alright, next up on JRPG news is Operation Abyss New Tokyo Legacy. Now, this is coming to the West finally in spring 2015, and IS America are going to be bringing it over, and it will be called Tokyo New World Record Operation Abyss, and it will be released both in NA and Europe for both retail and digital. And that will be for the PlayStation Vita, so it's kind of like a sci-fi dungeon RPG. So yeah, I'll look forward to that. And it's from the same studio as Demon Gaze, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Okay, next up on JRPG news is the Awakened Fate Ultimate, which is actually the sequel to the Guide of Fate Paradox if you play that on PlayStation 3. It will launch on the PlayStation 3 in North America on March 14 and Europe March 20 in IS America. Obviously it will be coming across through them again, make available 3 different limited editions of the game, and if you're interested in that, obviously check out their store. So they've got the Ultimate Edition, which comes with a copy of the game, a special box, a soundtrack CD, a hardcover art book, a 1.5-inch double-sided coin, and an angelic and devilish picture card set. Then you've got the Angelic Limited Edition, which comes with a copy of the game, a special box, the soundtrack CD, a hardcover art book, and an angelic picture card. And then you've got the Devilish Limited Edition, which comes with all of this I said before, except for instead of the angelic picture, it's the devilish picture. Okay, next up on JRPG news is more of an organisational news than an actual game. So this is regarding Bankai Namco Games. They are actually going to be changing their name to Bankai Namco Entertainment, and I'll just read in a statement from them. As of April 1, this change of name allows us to redefine the scope of our business as lying not solely just within games, but rather more broadly within entertainment as a whole. So obviously they believe changing the name will help with maybe future anime series that they want to do, and other types of media that they want to get involved with, maybe through their games. Yeah, we'll see what comes of this name change. Okay, next up on JRPG news is Yokai Watch 2, and if you're not familiar with this game, it's a big 3DS game out of Japan, which hasn't really been released outside that region. Level 5 have come out saying that they've sold 5 million copies of the game across the 3 versions. There's 3 versions of this game if you're not familiar with that, and it was released in July 10, so and they already had 1.3 million sales on the first 4 days, so it's actually amazing. I remember the first title was a huge seller in Japan, and I would guess or estimate that this will probably come over to the US and the European regions next year. Probably start with the first version, or we may even see combined version of the game with obviously 1 and 2 combined in the same package. Alright, next up on JRPG news is Deception 4, Another Princess. And this news is via Famitsu, the magazine out of Japan, and they've showed a preview regarding the new title, which is basically an updated version of Blood Ties, if you remember, and it was announced for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, and the game will feature a new heroine called the Nightmare Princess Valkyrie, and it will also finish new modes. So at the moment we know there's going to be a new quest mode that's going to offer all new story experiences with obviously the new heroine in it. There's apparently 100 quests to complete, new traps, new abilities to obtain, and that's going to be due out in Japan on March 26th. And I think we will see a Western release for this, because the other game was released in the US as well. Okay, next up on JRPG news is some more Operation New Tokyo Legacy news, kind of where we left off before. The reason why I left this for later on is this because this is the sequel to Operation Abyss. Now this one's called Operation Babel New Tokyo Legacy obviously, which as I said, it's a sequel and is due out in Japan for PlayStation Vita April 30, 2015. So I suppose it's a good sign that we're seeing the original release, and hopefully, yeah, we'll get this one as well. Probably the year after, 2016, or maybe if we're lucky, hopefully we'll get it in the same year. Okay, next up we have some more Criminal Girls invite only news. This is to do with the second trailer, which was released this week, finally showing off the English game for the first time. I will have the link for the trailer in the description below, so if you're interested in Criminal Girls invite only, make sure you check that out. Okay, next up on JRPG news is some Falcom announcements. Now they have announced Tokyo Xanadu. So this is a new title through them. Not much is known yet because they haven't released much information, but if you're not familiar with Falcom, they are the developers behind the Legend of Heroes, and ears and cross our fingers that we get this over to the West. I'm still waiting for Legend of Heroes, the PS3 versions that have been released in Japan, we still haven't seen yet. Alright, next up on JRPG news is some Tales of Esteria news. This is more not really regarding the game, but more to do with an anime special they're going to be doing. So yeah, they've released a new trailer showing a bit of the anime off. I'll put the link in the description below, make sure you have a look, see if you're interested. It's going to be produced by Ulof Table, and it's going to air in Japan December 30, December 31. Okay, next up on JRPG news is Hyper Dimension Neptunia U. Now this has been announced this week. It's going to be coming to the West in spring 2015. Obviously this is a PS Vita title if you're not aware. Now also, if you're not aware, this is their action game spin-off to the usual RPGs that they do with. Now it's going to be released also for retail and digital, and it's going to have new playable characters, which will be cool. It will have customizable equipment and new skills added. I will have the link for the trailer in the description below, make sure you check it out. Okay, next up on JRPG news for this week is some Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Break Record. Now they're showing off new videos this week for more of the characters in the game. We've got videos for Kiba and Hanato. I'll have the links in the description below if you want to see the videos for them. Next up on JRPG news is Etrian Mystery Dungeon. Atlas have released a second trailer for the game. Obviously with this, it's going to be a spring 2015 release. Alright, next up on JRPG news is Dragon Quest Heroes. Now, the second trailer has been released via Jump Festa, and the trailer shows off game characters, or the cast of characters in the game. And there's a lot of past characters in the trailer. I won't spoil it for you, go and check out the trailer. Alright, more JRPG news. Next up is Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, and this is news as well via Jump Festa, which is I think happened yesterday. Now this trailer shows off the collector's edition and PS4 bundle that's going to be offered to Japan. I think it's called the Ultimate Box, and it's exclusive to Square Enix's eStore. Now I'll just fire off some of the things that come in here. We've got the soundtrack for Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. We've got the school calendar that starts in April, the school ID, Ace Magic's card set, which includes 5 cards. Then we've got the PS4 hardware bundle. Okay, now this concludes the Crimson Red and Black PlayStation 4 with Final Fantasy Type 0 HD branding in Crimson Red on the DualShock 4 controller. A copy of the game, obviously. Download codes for Final Fantasy 15 demo and Final Fantasy Type 0 HD theme for PlayStation 4. This will launch in Japan March 19 for I think 46,000 yen, and pre-orders will open on December 22 at 1 o'clock Japanese time. If you're a collector and you know you're a big Final Fantasy fan and you want a PlayStation 4 if you don't have one already, or you just are a big collector, I'll put a link in the description below where a place where you can pre-order on December 22, so yeah, have a look if you're interested in that. Now more to do with Final Fantasy Type 0 HD in general. In that trailer that they did release from Jump Festa, shows off their updated camera. So they fixed that. That was one of the big issues they had with the original game. So they've smoothed it out. They've resolved all the collision issues. They've improved the targeting for both characters and enemies, making it more visible. They've made the characters run faster and more smoothly now because of the modifications to the camera. I'll have a link in the description below of the new English trailer, so make sure you check it out. Alright, the big news of this week, I believe, is Final Fantasy 15 new details and some exciting details coming out of Jump Festa 2015 out of Japan. They have debuted a new trailer and gameplay for Final Fantasy 15 finally. We really need to see more and more about this game because we need to get hyped. I think Final Fantasy, as I've said in many JRPG news recently, has been on a bit of a downward trend, and it needs a good number title to get back up there, and I think it needs to get back to basics. So with the new trailer, they've showed off one of their new cities called Restart, which is it's not going to be one of the biggest cities in the game, but it's going to be one of the major connecting points to a Titan that's shown in the trailer. So if you haven't seen the trailer, go and watch it, obviously. But both the Titan and Restart will not be accessible in the demo that's released with Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. And as if you're not sure or don't remember, the demo is only going to be released with day one copies of the game. So if you really want to try out the demo, make sure you maybe pre-order or get an early copy of the game. So we'll just run through some of the details that were shown off in the trailer. Now, with that town Restrag, you will be able to stay in hotels there. You'll be able to rest and eat, and various events will take part in that city. You'll also be able to drive your car around. While you can drive the car, you also will be able to get to places via a train as well, and you'll be able to move inside the train as well, freely around. So there's also some camping and resting information as well. So camping and resting is going to be a big important part of Final Fantasy 15, it seems. So if you don't sleep, you won't get proper status elements and thus you won't be able to use buffs during battle, apparently. Resting at camps is also necessary to level up, so you'll need to do that to level up your characters. You can go at the max 3 days without sleep before things get bad. Each day is about an hour in real time, with 40 to 45 minutes consisting of daylight. With the food, you can make food and eat, and eating will obviously give you beneficial effects. You can buy food from markets and prepare it at campsites, which gives you buffs as well. And sleeping will help maintain those buffs for a longer period of time. You'll also be able to summon beasts that you can require by satisfying various conditions towards them. So that sounds like an older mechanic in some older Final Fantasies. You could do that. They also announced a newly revealed character. It's a mechanic. It's a lady named Cindy, and she doesn't play a big part in the story, but she's going to be important to a lot of gameplay. As a mechanic, I'm assuming that your car can be damaged or something, and you'll have to get it fixed. That's it for JRPG news for this week. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you keep an eye out this coming week for my best RPG or JRPG for this year. I'll release a video of that. I also will have a new series coming in 2015, so make sure you check that out. And one more thing, I will have a new video coming up after this that will contain some giveaways that will be coming up in future videos, so make sure you check that out.